So just one more reading, page 261. Nagarjuna and the Six Perfections. Patience with Dharmas. Two types of dharmas, mental and non-mental. In this context, dharmas may be classified in two types, mental dharmas and non-mental dharmas. Among the non-mental dharmas, there are those which are inward and those which are outward. Outwardly, there are cold, heat, wind, rain, and so forth. Inwardly, there are anger, hunger, thirsty, aging, sickness, death, and so forth. All other sorts of phenomena of this type qualifies as non-mental dharmas. Mental dharmas themselves consist of two types. The first includes hatred, worry, doubt, and so forth. The second includes sexual desire, arrogance, and so forth. These two subtypes make up the mental dharmas. Patience is towards both mental and non-mental dharmas. When Bodhisattva is able to maintain patience and remain unmoved in relation to the two primary types of dharmas, both mental and non-mental, it is this which qualifies as patience with respect to dharmas. Challenge: why have patience with non-mental dharmas? If, in relation to the other beings, one becomes hateful, engaged in torment, inflicts injury on their lives, one commits karmic transgression, whereas if one acts out of sympathy for them, one gains karmic blessings as a result, however, in reacting to cold, hate, wind, and rain, there is no production of any gain or any loss for anyone. Why is then that one should remain patient with such phenomena? Response: no patience generates karma even here. Although one does not thereby bring about any gain or loss for anyone, still if one brings forth disruptive afflictions and distressful bitterness, one does inflict injury upon one's unpatience of the Bodhisattva's path. It is for this reason that one should maintain patience. Additionally, it's not the case that one commits karmic transgression solely through the killing and tormenting of beings. Whatever one curses in causes and conditions associated with evil thoughts, one generates karmic transgression as a consequence. How might this be the case? For instance, one might happen to cause the death of a being, but it was done with a neutral mind. This would not necessarily involve any incurrence of offense. On the other hand, if one were to maintain a loving kind mindfulness of beings, although there might be nothing which one actually provides for them, one would thereby still gain a great measure of karmic blessings. Hence, although there may be no gain or loss for anyone, wrath through one's reaction to cold, heat, wind, or rain is still allowing them to instigate one's own generation of evil, though does indeed involve the commission of associated karmic transgression. Therefore, one should maintain patience with this phenomenon. Reflections inspiring patience with no mental dharmas. Moreover, the Bodhisattva naturally realizes it is on account of the causing conditions associated with karmic offenses in previous lives that one is reborn in this place so fraught with suffering. This suffering created myself, hence I ought to be bound to personally endure it. It's through reflecting in this fashion that one remains able to maintain patience. Additionally, the Bodhisattva realizes that there are two kinds of countries. There are those which are pure and there are those which are impure. If those Bodhisattva is born into an impure country and experiences this bitter suffering as hunger, cold, and the manifold torments, he makes a purifying vow to himself. When I achieve Buddhahood, the country will have none of these manifold sufferings. Although this place is impure, it will ultimately work to my benefit. Furthermore, the Bodhisattva reflects not even the worthies and the Aryas are able to avoid encountering circumstances precipitating the eight worldly dharmas. How much less could this be the case for me? On account of this, one should be able to maintain patience. Moreover, the Bodhisattva reflects and realizes that this human body doesn't possess any particular durability and strength. It's pursued by aging, sickness, and death. Although the bodies of the gods are pure, show no aging, have no illness, and they become indulgently attached to the pleasures of the heavens. In this, they are comparable to people who have become intoxicated. They are unable to cultivate the karmic blessings associated with the path and are unable to live the home life and transcend desire. Because of this, one constrains oneself even while in this human body to maintain patience, cultivate karmic blessings, and benefit to other beings. Then again, the Bodhisattva considers, I have taken on this body composed of the four great elements and the five aggregates. It ought therefore to be the case that is frightened with all manner of aspects, entails suffering as a consequence. There is no one who takes on such a body and yet remains invulnerable to suffering. Whether one is rich and of noble birth or poor and of humble status, whether one is a monastic or householder, whether one is foolish or wise, or whether one is intelligent or dull, no one is able to avoid it. How is this? Those persons who are rich in noble birth are constantly subject to fearfulness and the compulsion to protect their material wealth. They are analogous to the fat sheep taken early to the butcher's chopping block. They are like the crow which holds a piece of meat in its beak and is pursued by a flock of other crows. Those who are poor and of humble status are subjected to sufferings of hunger and cold. Although monastics subject to suffering in the present existence, they receive karmic blessings in their future lives while also achieving success in the path. Although householders may experience pleasure in the present life, they are bound to endure sufferings in their future lives. That's it, just a small reading of the Nagarjuna's Six Perfections, page 253. That's it.